welcome everybody to the Hit the Ropes podcast. It's your girl Delores, just a pink girl in her pink world, here on every platform. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with the good brother J.News. J.News, you got something to tell the good people?
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, your good brother J News, along here with the lovely Dolores on the Hit the Ropes podcast, Sunday, March 30th, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Like every other week, here talking to you about the week that was in professional wrestling. So there's not too much to cover for this week, but
No.
we'll get through the main points, and yeah, that's where we're at.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, it's time. You already know if you've been here before. I'm gonna say it again. We're gonna have some slight changes in how things are going. We're trying to figure out new layouts because they have new layouts here. So if you see something change, that's maybe on purpose. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a review. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna start off with WWE and its shows, starting with Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw was 1661 on the 24th, which was on Netflix. We had the Usos, Jay and Jimmy Uso, defeat the A-Town Down Under of Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. We had the WWE Women's Intercontinental title match. Lara Valkyria defeated Raquel Rodriguez. We had El Grande Americano, who we all know who that is, defeat Dragon Lee. We have the WWE Intercontinental title match. Braun Breaker defeated Penta by DQ. J News, did you see any of this? And what do you think?
Um, yes, I saw what happened on Monday night. It was cool to see the Usos back together as a tag team. I know that the WWE has made it a big deal and has done a concerted effort to make Jey Uso a single star, which for the most part they achieved that goal. They haven't done so much with Big Jim, but they're
Yeah.
working on that for the time being. But seeing them as a tag team is always fun. Um, the Lyra Valkyria versus Raquel Rodriguez match was decent enough. A lot of shenanigans happening during the match and things of that nature, but Lyra was able to walk away with the win. The whole El Grande Americano thing. Um, I know that there is a bit of I guess you want to call it controversy. I don't know if people want to, whatever way you feel about the whole El Grande Americano thing.
It's
Um,
like they're making some people have
mhm,
expressed that it feels like you making fun of a culture and
right.
a vibe.
Mhm,
Almost like they were like, okay, we let you slide with the Kurt Angle stuff,
right.
okay, but now you're doing it again, and you actually have luchadors and people who study and do this all their lives who are fighting for a spot where you gave somebody to pretend to be.
Right. Yeah, it's you win some, you lose some. At the end of the day, they're going to be different people who think different things. I'm not out here to judge the individual talent because obviously they're the ones who get told what to do from a creative standpoint. I understand folks' points of view as to why people would be offended, why people would think negatively about it. Initially, to be quite honest, I thought it was pretty funny
Oh
to see
yeah,
it on Monday. I thought it was pretty
it's
funny.
funny.
But yet again, it's not like I'm going to sit here and not understand where everybody else is coming from. Because after I watched it, after I watched the segment and I watched the match, I said to myself automatically, "Yeah, this is not going to be regardless of the fact if I found it funny or not. Hey, friend, um, if I find it funny or not, I know people are going to take this in a very offensive manner, and people have all the right to take it that way. So, for all intents and purposes, there's going to be stuff that people are not going to like, and there's going to be stuff that people are going to like. Um, I'm not riding the fence on this. I feel like, to your point, Dolores, I feel like it's unnecessary to do this. You do have uh, Mexican and that Mexican mask talent on your roster. I think it's unnecessary to do something like this now in 2025 because it's to me stuff like this um, isn't necessary. Like back in the 80s and the 90s when you saw, stuff like when the Iron Sheik was on the Iranian side of things and
Yeah.
crap like that or whatever the case is. There wasn't such a thing as social media. Yeah, no doubt. I would imagine, I would believe that people found it offensive, but it didn't hit the cultural zeitgeist as much as it does now, just because there's such an immediate reaction to things. But it's one of those things where you know this sort of comedy, is it
I think the real
unnecessary?
insult is that you're bringing in this is the door in which you're opening to bring in a real luchador who has really good talent,
Mhm.
and this is the way you bring them in. Is like you opening this door to bring them in, like after all the good reception and good things that you've gotten from how you've treated Penta. This is how his
It
brother
just
is coming
it just
in and through this mess.
Oh, no, 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 no. Phoenix isn't coming. He's not coming to Raw. He's going to SmackDown. So we
But
don't
I'm
have to.
saying like that the you're introducing Chad as this luchador.
Right.
It's like, what do you think of his brother? How you gonna treat his brother?
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand that.
It's a very confusing thing to watch play out on TV. I will definitely agree with that. Um, and yet, and just just pointed to this particular match. He took Dragon Lee's mask off after this match yet again, understandably so. That's been used, and it's a wrestling trope at this point, right? You people understand it's disrespectful to take the mask off of a luchador and things of that nature, but like in this instance, the way that they're doing it with the shtick and then the whole Gulf of America thing, like it's supposed to be satirical, but at
It's
the end of the
supposed to
day,
make you upset, just like
yeah,
back in the day, the Iron
yeah,
Sheik, which
the
I like
freaking
a villain more than I like a hero, and so
yeah,
that back in the day that it bothered me.
right,
I
because
have more I can see where people are coming from when you're making someone play a part in something that they have no business doing, aka my ultimate arch nemesis, Mark Merrow. Listen, Johnny B. Bad was essentially a black man, even though he wasn't black at all.
right, 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 right.
And
Yeah,
so that's when you start crossing lines where like you shouldn't have
yeah,
crossed. Triple H has crossed them lines too, you know.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Infamous
yeah.
Booker T
Yeah, the whole
moment.
the blackface shit and everything else in between.
Yeah.
Like it's old and it's tired at this point. Um, and that's like I said, that sort of comedy. I don't think it like in 2025 is just not necessary or whatever the case is. It's not the same. We're not living in the same times. It felt like something so Vince McMahon esque to be on TV for an episode of Raw. Like after I watched it, regardless of the fact that I found it funny or not, it kind of took me out of it, and I was like, yeah, this doesn't really jive with what's going on today or whatever.
It doesn't hit the same.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then you have Big E. Listen, let me blow us up for a little bit. You got Big E online making these statements.
Mhm.
I understand y'all played on this Big E may be ambiguous
He's not
on both.
ambiguous.
No, that they had that man on WWE ride alongs doing a split in the back seat with his legs open. I was like, at that point, we playing this a little bit too hard, okay? So he's gonna say, "Well, I know that's Chad Gable. I've been in the locker room. I've seen his body. I've seen his body before. I know those hips. I've seen it before." And I'm looking at my screen, going, "This is what we doing. This is what y'all want this man to say and do. This is this is not funny anymore. This is weird." And the fact he's like, I don't seen a lot of people's bodies, and I've been in the locker room, and it's Chad's hip. I know his body and his hips from anywhere. Sir, sir, pump your brakes. That's when I really after the segment in the match, and then seeing what Biggie said, I'm like, y'all are pushing this a little bit too hard. Like Kurt was just, we knew it was Kurt. It was hilarious
Right,
because Kurt was essentially not hiding he was Kurt. He was still doing Kurt moves.
right.
You asking Chad J. Gable to be a luchador and try to do some of the luchador moves. And it's not hidden like that. It's not hidden the same.
Yeah, it's like I said, after the fact
We
that
already called, well, I called Gable a fake, like a fake Kurt Angle. And so at this point, what he gonna do? Get a son now?
they
Jason
they
gonna come back
they
out. He gonna get a son again.
they've been needing to do something different with him for a while. Like what he does with American Made and all that stuff. That's fine. I think it's fine for where they have him on the card and how they develop his creative for like. But this whole Grande Americano thing, I think they took it a bit too far. And
They
it's
trying to
not.
make him into a MAGA character,
Yeah,
and that's not like that.
it's yeah, especially with the way that there is tension and divisiveness in the country. Um, you don't need that necessarily on what you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be watching entertainment on TV. It's supposed to be able
But
to take your. Uh,
what do we expect? We
no,
had
like
we had JBL during his feud with Rey Mysterio, quote unquote, at the border during these segments, trying to chase quote unquote Mexicans back over the border.
yeah, they like I said, they take it too far at times, and this was another one of those instances. And uh, the point I had earlier about it, this felt more like Vince McMahon writing creative for the show in now than in recent memory. So it was off putting after the fact. I can laugh at some satire and shit like that. You got to be able to compartmentalize, but at the end of the day, in 2025, shit like this doesn't fly. So that is what that is. But to round out the show, what was it? Braun Breaker defeated Penta via DQ. I forget who. I think it was a Judgment Day who interfered in this match, right, Dolores?
Yeah,
To get the DQ. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, they've got that brewing into WrestleMania. I think eventually they'll have Finn take on Braun Breaker for the IC championship or whatever.
It might be a triple threat. At this point, they triple threat and everything.
Sure, I think they'll put Dom in that or whatever, but and they'll have Dom win.
Or unless they do a fatal four way and you shove Penta in there along with Dom and Finn.
Yeah, because I think they got to blow this Judgment Day thing up at the end of the day. Like I think for me, I'll speak for myself. I feel like that. I feel like the Judgment Day stuff has run its course for me. So depending as to whatever they do, we'll see. We'll see in the coming weeks.
Also, it wasn't because you know my brain. It wasn't this show. It was Friday that we did the signing, right?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get back on the road of WWE. We're on to NXT, ladies and gentlemen. NXT 778 on the 25th. It was on the CW. We had Stephanie Vaquer in the WWE NXT Women's Title match defeat Jada Parker. We had Tariq Igwe and Tyson DuPont defeat Hank and Tank, Hank Waller and Tank Ledger. We had for the WWE NXT Heritage Cup title match, Lexis King defeat Javon Evans by countout. We had Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley defeat Metaphor of Jakar Jackson and Lash Legend. We had Ethan Page defeat Andre Chase. And for the WWE Women's NXT North American title match, Stephanie Vaquer defeated Fallon Henley. J.News, did you see any of this and what did you think?
I saw this. Great night for Stephanie Vaquer, defending both her championships and stuff like that. She's in the thrust of it with what's going on with Julia health wise, even though supposedly that's being disputed by people in WWE or whatever. But it is what it is. Steph's double champ. She's doing her thing. Nice to see Jada back on TV. Fallon's tremendously talented, but I feel like it's time for her to do something different at this point. But that's just my take on that.
Who
Uh,
was it that was recently taken off the? Somebody put it in a chat of mines, and it was like, oh my god, they just took her off the roster, and I was like, who, what, when? I have
Ooh.
to go back and look.
Oh, I don't know.
It was, I think, Kiana James.
Oh no, she came back. She was
Yeah,
seen. She was seen in the performance center this week. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She should
yeah.
supposedly she'll be back soon. So so we'll see how that translates.
Yeah,
She's been
the
gone for quite
article
some time.
said something about her being put off the active roster, but that her being seen in the thing, and then she disappeared off the website, so they
Mhm.
didn't know exactly
What was
how
going on?
that was going. Yeah,
So we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully she comes back. I mean, she was drafted to the main roster, so we shouldn't be seeing her on NXT. But we'll see what comes up with them. I feel like they've been doing a bad job of promoting Tyreek Iguodala and Tyson Dupont, and both Hank and Tank. The reason as to why I'm saying that specifically is because every week when we come on our show and we review stuff, right, you'll tell me about Tyreek and Tyson being on either TNA or they'll have a match on NXT. But WWE social media doesn't post video of their matches ever. I never see their matches on WWE social media, or at least the YouTube feed and stuff like that. And the same thing with Hank and Tank. Like I'll see like short end videos that end up like on Instagram or maybe Twitter, but like for all the video that makes YouTube rounds, you never see those guys get promoted at all. So I don't know if it's a slight on them, but I never necessarily see their work on full fledged edited video when it comes to Tyreek and Tyson and Hank and Tank. So I'm not too sure as to what the deal is there.
I think they
Uh,
get kind of feeling that they're still gaining their like legs. Sometimes during
yeah,
matches, I've seen them kind of miss spots
mm,
or spots not go the way it should, and it's happened a lot. So maybe they just feel like they're not at a point to
be
put
promoted.
them out there. Yeah.
I got you. No, I can understand that, I guess, but that's what I so that for all intents and purposes, I would know because I don't watch the shows live, so I look for the edited footage afterwards, and when I don't see it, but then I go over these results with you on the podcast weekly. It's like, why aren't these? I don't know their faces. I just know their names at this point. So, we'll see as to how these gentlemen progress over time.
Yeah, they're
Let-
giving them a little bit more time, and also they're not their promos are not the greatest. It's not like I'm like, oh my god, it's captivating.
mm,
It's more like, yeah, I'm waiting for you to get finished. I'd rather see the commercial.
gotcha.
So they need to get a little bit more reps in before they can get pushed a little bit further. I think they're trying to push them to see how far they can go
Mhm.
on their own. And then, because, sometimes they'll push characters and then they'll spark and then they become better and they'll focus and get them more of a push. Whereas sometimes they have matches and it's just like, oh, okay, that was a good match. That was okay. And you don't care about them at this point. So why put money and effort into them if they're not striking emotion with fans at this point?
Gotcha, gotcha. No, that's definitely understandable.
So,
Um,
ladies and gentlemen, all these shows are setting up to eventually, in a couple of weeks, we'll have NXT Stand and Deliver and 2 nights of WrestleMania. And we'll talk about that because I'm having to, we can work around some things because Sister K can't do it alone. I can't.
yeah,
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go on to the next show, which was Friday Night SmackDown, ladies and gentlemen. It was 1336 on the 28th on the USA Network for the WWE Tag Team Title match. The Street Profits of Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford defeated Pretty Deadly of Elton Prince and Kit Wilson. We had the Green Regime. Every time I say their name, I die laughing thinking about Alba. Alba Fire and Piper Niven defeated Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. For the WWE United States title match, we had LA Knight versus Braun Strowman in a no contest. We had Charlotte Flair defeated Michin. Drew McIntyre defeated Randy Orton. And Jimmy Uso defeated The Miz. J.News, did you see this and what did you think about it?
I thought that this was another week of SmackDown that felt a bit too long. The Street Profits did their thing against Pretty Deadly. They had a real good match. Shouts to the boys from Pretty Deadly. I didn't know that the girls were going by the Green Regime. I thought it was just her Secret Service or whatever the case is. But okay,
Yeah,
cool.
when I found that out, I was like, and I
Um,
laugh now when I see them because now that I know the name, I'm like,
it's interesting.
what?
Yeah.
Why? With Alba and her red hair.
Right. Right. I just yeah. Um, Katana Chance and Caden Carter. Uh, those young ladies have been around for quite a while. They're still doing the tag team thing. I wonder if they'll ever get anything of substance to do on WWE TV. Is really more or less the overall question when it comes to their WWE careers. LA Knight and Braun Strowman ending in a no contest ended up with Jacob Fatu coming out and doing his due diligence, him wanting his shot at the United States heavyweight at the United States Championship eventually, and interfering in this match. There was a promo segment in the back between Jacob and Solo and Tama, where Jacob basically told Solo and Tama either you get with it or you get or you get left behind, but don't involve yourself in my stuff. You know what I'm saying? So,
I
uh,
feel Jacob. I feel like that every day that you tell somebody something, they still listen. I'm the kind of person if I tell you once, twice, maybe three times if I really care, and you don't listen, listen. I don't know if y'all remember them old commercials where the girl was standing on the lake and her friend was, I'm gonna say it in a nice way, going under the sea, and she was looking over. Immediately as a kid, I realized somebody got to tell the story, and it's gonna be me. You can go out in Lake Lanier. I'm gonna sit on the edge. Okay.
yeah. So but from a storytelling perspective, it seems like that's probably going to be another multi-man match for the United States Championship at WrestleMania. So probably LA Knight, Braun Strowman, and Jacob Fatu. But they're also gearing towards the breakup of this particular Bloodline 2.0 faction. So we'll probably end up seeing
It's the
some.
same. It's the same breakup.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
person in charge cannot get it done, and they relying on the second hand man too much.
yeah.
Then the second hand man realize, why do I need you? And they leave.
Basically. So there's that going on from their perspective, storytelling wise. Charlotte and Michin was actually a pretty good match. Love to see Michin get her TV time and stuff like that. I've been a fan of Mia for a long period of time, so good to see her in a match with a competitor in there that can definitely make her look great. The whole Drew McIntyre winning over Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton thing was a little bit surprising.
It was
Um,
weird.
yeah, it was weird. It was surprising, with Randy going into Mania season and everything against Kevin Owens, but we'll see. Even though Kevin Owens was involved sort of in the match and stuff like that, and Drew's got his thing going on with Damian Priest and all that jazz. Like I imagined this match getting like a DQ finish or a no contest, much like the Braun Strowman LA Knight match, but it didn't happen that way. And then Big Jim winning over the Miz really didn't do anything for me. So there was that, and I think that no, that was it for the matches on that night. But we got the last segment of the night, which was probably what most people ended up watching. It was a contract signing for what now seems to be one of the main events for WrestleMania, the triple threat match between CM Punk, uh, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. And that segment went on for about 17 minutes. And CM Punk is finally going to be able to live his dream and say that he is a WrestleMania main eventer. Um, there was a lot of
It,
back and forth between all three entities. I liked the promo battle between Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Um, so they still have their stuff to iron out, and then at the same time, obviously Seth Rollins' overall hate tread for CM Punk, saying that CM Punk didn't deserve to be in the WrestleMania main event. That the WrestleMania main event is sacred, and it it all broke down from there. They did not necessarily brawl or fight out. The last thing we were left with was when CM Punk learned that he was part of the main event, and him and Paul Heyman hugged it out, and there was a little emotional moment there. CM Punk still let the tribal chief know that that wasn't the favor that he's owed, being in the main event of WrestleMania. So that's still looming and things of that nature. If you didn't check that segment out, where they all sat down and did the contract signing, I would recommend you guys get on the YouTube and watch the segment. It was really entertaining for what it was, and yeah, that's how the show ended.
I want to say it was really weird because if you know CM Punk, he hates getting emotional, and so the fact that they gave him the contract and told him to read it felt like it was a setup that he didn't know about. And then once Paul, he was like, "What am I reading?" And Paul was like, "You gonna get to, have your dreams come true and main event WrestleMania." And tears welled up in his eyes. I was like, it was almost like you get a little emotional because he's talked about this over the decades of being like screwed out of this opportunity. And it kind of feels like he was so emotional. Seth and Roman were looking at him like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" And he was looking like, almost like he kind of said, like, "Is this true? Like, is this true?" Like he was so emotional about it. And I know Triple H believes in making moments feel real. And a part of me wants to know, like, did you not tell this man this? And he walked into this not knowing what the heck was about to happen. Because even Paul was just like, Paul knew and was excited and like somewhat emotional, but Punk was like quiet. Normally he has a smart remark, something he says to not keep himself from getting emotional. But this really made him so emotional. And I was like, as a CM Punk fan, I was touched because I'm like, okay, he gets to live out this childhood dream he's had and that he's worked hard for. And that regardless of what people say about him, a lot of the stuff he said was correct about Vince and the company at the time. And so now hindsight, we can say that was good. Even with AEW, he has said some things that at first I was like, what? And even as a supporter of his, I'm like, what? And then now I look back and I'm like, he kind of was right. He it needed to be more structure. That it needed, these things need to be. I can understand because even a lot of the tricks that he's complained about that they do, like glass and different stuff, we've seen people lately get hurt by it and hurt badly. So I can now get a little understanding. Not saying everything he does right. I know he can't fight. Okay, I know that. I've defended this man. I know he can't fight. Okay, but when in doubt, bring a chair out. That's all I got to say. When in doubt, bring a chair out. You just get to swinging, J.News. Swinging like you swinging for the fences. That's what he had to do. That's what he had to do to try to save his butt. He talked smack and couldn't back it up physically. His mouth is deadly. You know what I'm saying? But he ain't got the hands to match. So I'm gonna need him to, as I said, pick up something. Walk in a room, your locker room, press conference room, whatever. Make sure you find 5 or 6 things you can fight with. Cause sir, ain't no way you should be getting beat like this in UFC and in real life. So with that being said, as a CM Punk fan, I cannot wait to WrestleMania. I can't wait till you all see me scream and because they've seen the J News. I scream and sing Cody Rhodes and CM Punk songs like my life depended on it. Like somebody got a pop out to my head and I got to sing it. I sing it loud. Listen, and also you get Travis Scott out there. I might, might get the inner rapper in me too. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on to the next company, All Elite Wrestling, AEW, and we're going to go to AEW Dynamite. Oop, there we go. I went too far, J News, too far. Dynamite was on Dynamite 286 on the 26th on TBS HBO Max. They simulcast. We had a non-title match. Kenny Omega defeated Blake Christian. Kyle Fletcher defeated Brody King. Powerhouse Hobbs defeated Mark Davis. Top Flight Dante and Darius Martin defeated Alex Findley and Devo Knight. I'm gonna need y'all to get some old school names. Kanosuke Takeshita defeated Mark Briscoe, and Megan Bain and Penelope Ford defeated Thunder Rosa and Tony Storm. J.News, did you see this, and what did you think about this?
Yeah, I watched Dynamite on Wednesday. I thought it was another solid show for AEW on the road to Dynasty. A couple of things here and there stood out. First with the Kenny Omega versus Blake Christian match, I thought the match was gonna go a little bit longer, but it didn't. They ended the match probably before or at the 10-minute mark, and then we got a promo battle between Kenny Omega, Speedball Mike Bailey, and Ricochet to end that particular segment to continue to set up their three-way match going into Dynasty. Kyle Fletcher going one-on-one versus Brody King was a hell of a battle, very hard hitting. Just keeping Kyle Fletcher relevant, keeping Brody King relevant, and things of that nature. Don't have a specific direction for Kyle Fletcher as of yet, but I have a feeling that Kyle Fletcher, at least in my eyes, he should be a part of that Owen Hart Memorial Foundation tournament. But we'll see as to how that pans out. The Powerhouse Hobbs versus Mark Davis match. It was the meaty men slapping man meat match. It was a hell of a match in that particular.
Oh,
So those two did their thing. The Top Flight. This was a tag match, right? This is more of a squash match because they were in Minnesota. And Top Flight, the tag team of Dante and Darius Martin, they're from Minnesota, so this is more of a feel good hometown thing or whatever. They showed their wares off against two random guys from the Minnesota area and stuff like that, and they went over. Another great match for the night was, of course, Konosuke Takeshita versus Mark Briscoe. Those two individual men can do no wrong individually away from each other, and they did no wrong together in that ring. Speaking towards just a random match being put on Dynamite, which is what we love about it, which is what most folks love about AEW. But I would think that you would put Takeshita also in that the Owen Cup. So it's either going to be Takeshita or Fletcher or both of them. Because we'll come to find out when we go over Collision that it seems like people who are on the same side will be in the Owen in their respective brackets. And then to end out the night, Megan Bain and Penelope Ford defeated Thunder Rosa and Tony Storm. I thought there was a segment during the show where they had Thunder Rosa and Tony Storm being interviewed by Renee, I think it was, and Tony Storm announced their tag team name because it used to be Thunderstorm back in the day, and now it's Thunder Tits. So that was funny. But they actually worked well as a tag team, did Thunder Rosa and Tony Storm during the match. But Megan Bain and Penelope Ford were able to get the upper hand. Megan Bain just no selling all of Tony's offense and things of that nature, making her look like a badass and making her look like this immovable object and stuff like that, which I think is the main purpose behind the way that they're pushing Megan Bain. So a good look for her in that particular instance, and another good look for the ladies main eventing the show for the night. So AEW doing right and well by the ladies in the weeks since Revolution. So we have that there.
I would like to say God bless Thunder Rosa because she not petty. But if I was her, I would have been real petty. Lady, you got on national TV, talked about me like a dog with your friend, and now we tagging together. Sis, that was, you have to catch
You,
it.
what are you talking about?
Yeah, did you not see when Britt was talking about Thunder, Tony was jumping in like, yeah, I don't understand why she's still champion. I don't understand. Like she kept like she was hyping her friend up. like a good friend should. I mean, I wouldn't do it, but you know, like good friends, good Judies, y'all get to talking. You trashing somebody, and your friend just jumps along with you. Tony did that during that show they had. You remember that reality show?
Oh, I didn't watch that. I didn't watch
Yes,
that. I didn't watch that. That's
that's
why
how we all found out that
that's why
Britt
I'm
did
here like
not like.
that's why I'm here looking lost. I'm like, what is she talking? What is the hell is Dolores talking about?
That's how we found out that Britt didn't like Thunder, and then
Yeah.
we also found out that uh, it seemed like she was having trouble in Paradise at her house, and so that's when everybody started talking about that they were going to her and Adam was going to break up, and that she was a mean
Mm,
girl because she
interesting.
constantly in every scene was either trying to tell Adam what to do or she was complaining about Thunder Rosa.
Interesting. The complaining
So
about Thunder Rosa thing I understood. I just didn't know that Tony was involved in any of that stuff.
yeah, she was, Brit. I remember the scene like they were sitting like on the crates and stuff. Britt was sitting in the chair. Tony was over on the side. That's when she had her rock and roll look, and she began to brash Thunder. And she was like, "I don't know why they still got her to have travel." She claimed her back hurt, but she still travels. So I don't know why she can't travel and come to work. That's when Tony was like, "Yeah, I don't understand. Why is she still? Why can't none of us win the title?" And I was sitting there like, "Oh, okay. So y'all all have a problem with one person."
Mm.
And then that's when after the show came out, they tried to. We started getting a lot more Thunder. Thunder does this. Thunder does that. Thunder is a bad person. We started getting those kind of drops.
Yeah, I think there was an interview I watched with Thunder Rosa not too long ago, where she stated that after her long injury stint, that she did a lot of reflection and things of that nature, and she's had like individual conversations with a lot of the girls in the locker room to try to repair her relationships with a lot of the girls. So I'm not too sure how that. I mean, from the looks of it, it looks like
I think she just
people
she
people are
didn't
being
want to hold
professional.
the anger. You don't
Yeah,
want to hold the anger, but at a
exactly.
certain point, these women bashed you on national television, and they bashed you behind the scenes by leaking information or whatever on their side of how they felt.
Yeah, but
I think Thunder realizes in order to leave, she needs to keep her head down and keep focused.
yeah, absolutely. And I think with what's happened and what's transpired with other talents and them wanting to leave in situations that haven't uh, that went awry, or things just played out in the wrong way in the media or in social media and things of that nature. People want to be able to you don't
Because
want
if
to.
you ever notice on Busted Open,
Mhm,
when they had in the beginning when she first got on and she was working with AEW,
mhm.
she did not do commentary on WWE.
Yeah.
Now she does it a lot.
Mhm,
And she talks about how great they are, how the camaraderie. So I'm like, okay, are you trying to send a smoke signal for somebody to send the message back? Because she even talks about, oh, their women division. They have NXT is bumping with new women. This great. I've
mhm,
always wanted to face such and such. And it's like, okay, so are you trying to send a signal? Because you used to didn't do this, and now you do this, and it was shortly after it came on TV, and then all the rest of the stuff. That's when she started to be more open about her WWE commentary.
mhm. Okay. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that I don't get to see and or listen to, especially when it comes to Busted Open Radio. Never been a fan of it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if that's what she's projecting, if that's what she's putting out there, then I don't necessarily know what her intentions are. Um, but from the looks of it, she seems to be a very company first person. It seems like she loves AEW. She loves being there. She loves working there to a specific extent. Like I said, that interview I was talking about that she did, where she felt like she had to repair her relationships with a lot of the talent in the back, and she did that on her own, under her own volition. So I
I
feel.
felt bad for her because it's like you had these women doubting, even Tony, doubting that she was genuinely injured.
Mhm,
When all they had to do was look at her YouTube. She was taking us in when she went for
Yeah, for
treatments.
treatment and
And
stuff like
so we saw her journey from beginning to end. And for you to doubt that, and there were times when she got emotional on her YouTube about
that.
like wanting to come back. And even when she would constantly go to these appointments, it came a little bit annoying, but she would constantly go to these appointments like, oh, how long do I got? Can I come back? Can I come back? Do I got a week? You thinking about a month until I come back? And she just kept doing it. And it's like, they kept breaking her heart by saying like, we don't see it no time soon. So at a certain point,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
how
yeah.
can you not believe her? She's
People,
showing you.
people. I mean, at the same time, you also have to understand the same way that a lot of us don't get to watch that sort of stuff. I don't. I feel like a lot of wrestling folks like to. There's a lot of wrestling folks who live in the wrestling bubble, but there's also a lot of wrestling folks who don't who don't convey themselves in that bubble outside of work. So they might not have seen. You got to give people the benefit of the doubt. They might not have seen her content and things of that
They
nature.
they saw enough to mention that they saw her traveling and why she couldn't travel to because she was flying to
Yeah,
different places.
she was going to the show. She was there.
Yeah,
She was active. She's part of the Spanish announce team and
yeah.
things of
That's
that
what
nature.
that. I think that was before she got. They filmed it before she got on Spanish announcing. So
Yeah.
she was traveling because
Mhm.
she manages her wrestling business.
Yeah.
So she was traveling to do that, and she was announcing for them. But it was well, why she can't come to work, and it was like, well, there was no well, she wasn't wrestling, and at the time they hadn't put her on announcing, so she really had nothing to do. Would you want her to just show up?
Yeah, a lot of people rather just be, not around as much when they're hurt and things of that nature, because it messes with them emotionally and mentally and things of that nature. So for everybody fights their battles differently at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like you had all these women, all these conversations, all these people who were when you watched the show surrounding Brit, and then you had Thunder by herself trying to explain what was going on with her, them filming what was going on with her, all of those things, and it was just her isolated by herself.
yeah, I mean, it was unfortunate for that period in time, but
Yeah,
it seems different now.
yeah, it
Um,
does, and I appreciate
yeah.
her because even on Busted Open, she's explained that somebody had to be the bigger person in the
Yeah.
situation. But I'm like,
That's not always the case, That's
yeah,
not always the case, but in her case that was the case, and I think she's better for it at the end of the day. Sorry about that.
oh no problem. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go on to the next show, which is Ring of Honor ROH. Ladies and gentlemen, ROH was let's see, it was let's get the slide over. There we go. It was ROH 109 on the 27th on ROHWrestling.com or their app. You can find it. Dark Panther defeated Akamura. The Sons of Texas, Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara and Willie Mack defeated Johnny TV and MXM collection of Mansoor and Mason. Athena and Diamante defeated Jordan Blue and Maserati. The premier athletes, Ari Daivari and Tony Nese, defeated the Dark Order of Alex Reynolds and Evil Uno. Queen Amanada defeated Viva Van. Atlantis Junior Fuego and Teton defeated Bar. J.News about to mess this up.
Barbaro Cavernario.
Barbaro Cardinario. Is that how
Mhm.
you say it? See.
Yeah, more or less.
And Los Desperados.
Depredadores.
See.
Yeah,
Ru-
yeah.
uh,
It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not
yeah,
easy.
listen. I'm trying J News.
Mhm.
J News got that built in him. I don't. J News, did you did you see any of this?
The only thing that came across to me during the week when it came to ROH was the continued build of the relationship between Athena and Diamante, where Diamante is now a minion. She's part of MIT, and Athena has been shrugging off young Billy Starks because it seems like Athena feels like Billy Starks is getting involved in other people's business when she shouldn't be. But it seems like Athena has taken on a new member of MIT in Diamante, and Diamante is learning the ways of our forever ROH champion. We're getting a lot of the different lucha matches on ROH to continue to present the CMLL talent. That being Dark Panther and Okamura and Atlantis Junior, Fuego and Titan and things of that nature. So these, I feel, just because Forbidden Door is a mixed show between AEW, CMLL, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and ROH technically. We'll be seeing a lot of these talents on that future Forbidden Door show. So for folks to want to look forward to that in the future. But outside of that, would this be the show, Dolores, where Queen Aminata got hurt? Because
I think so.
yeah, okay,
These are normally like pre-tape weeks, months in advance.
mhm,
But I think this is the show where she got hurt
yeah,
on. I can't remember, so don't say it,
mhm,
quote me
all
because
right,
my brain is scrambled. Maserati is an independent wrestler.
mhm,
She's okay. If you ever have watched World Class Wrestling Network and I've had to review or watch her live, my running joke is that a couple of times her wig almost has come off.
okay, okay.
And so every time I see her, I see her wig slipping back. And so it's messed up when she get in the ring, but it get tore up while she in there. And I'm like, sis, you need to find a better way. Sew that thing down or something. You got to find something better than this. As soon as they grab her, it just starts slipping off. And I said, okay. So that's a running joke. So if you ever hear me call her name again, that's immediately what should come to your mind is that her wigs. The first time I saw it, it slipped all the way back mid head. And she had to kind of try to pull it. I was like, okay, you losing your helmet of salvation. But also, this week, I don't know if you saw Dustin Rhodes kind of got roasted a little bit.
No, no. Why was that?
An old video, which I have seen, and I've had to comment as a wrestling fan to identify who this man is in the chats of these comedians. It's an old video where Dustin has a big steak. He cuts it up. He takes a fork. He feeds his dog. He cuts another piece. He eats it with the same fork.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
Not a different fork, the same fork that he just put in his dog mouth. And at this point, everybody's like, "This man, what is wrong with this man? This man ain't got enough money for another fork. What his problem is?" And I have to say,
Well,
and
let me tell you something real quick. Let me tell you something real quick. And this has nothing to do with Dustin Rhodes per se. This has to do more
with
with
the
the
less
cult.
melanated,
No, it has to do more with the American culture of pet keeping, where people treat their pets like their children. They
okay,
feed them like
I've treated my pet like my children, but I don't. We don't eat the same. I don't feed even my nephew. I don't give him something and stick it in my mouth.
I've seen crap like that too often to give. So, is it funny? Is it something for him to get roasted about? Absolutely, absolutely, no, without question. But for me to sit here and say I'm gonna make fun of Dustin Rhodes for it when all that when I've seen this stuff happen before and all I think about is just how weird it is. It's just yeah, man. Yeah, it ain't. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna
Listen,
do?
I want to quote a lady. I don't forgot her name. If I could find it, I would. Who said she and me and her on the same page. I have never been so thirsty to drink behind a toddler. Okay, because if you ever got a toddler in your house, you know. And she said it'll be a whole goldfish at the bottom of a cup with a straw. Don't know how it happened. Got to be from the kid. And at that point, I thought about to myself, and as I was typing, I was like, "That is Dustin." They're like, "Who is this man?" And because he has big dogs, and so it's like, "Who is this man? And why is this man eating after his
Yeah,
dog? And this is nasty. That man ain't got no money to like give him another fuck." And I'm like, he has a lot of money.
at
He
the
is
end of the
Dustin
day,
Rhodes. It's like and the crazy stuff is when I said Dustin Rhodes, a lot of people in the chats or different places were like, We don't know who that is. And then when I say stop, if I say Gold Dust or Dusty Sun, they automatically know who I'm talking about.
It is what it is, man. It is what it is.
I just couldn't. It was like the first time I saw it was its name is Delay. Literally did a reaction to it, and he was like, "Ain't no way you got to be that desperate to eat after your dog like that."
People do it, man. I've seen people do other stuff, man, with their pets. It's just it's to me, it's just it's weird.
Now
That
the
people
furthest
have
I've
their thing.
gotten to with a pet that I shouldn't have been doing, that I treated it like a human. I gave it bottled water. But my thing about it was I don't like drinking tap water either. So why would I? It's my baby. At the time, I would pour the water and just like a child, they would open their mouth and drink the water. That's it.
Nah, man.
But
Nah,
I didn't drink after the dog. I
no,
didn't.
don't,
I
man.
just poured the water in there, or I poured it in this little
I'm,
tray, and they drank
I'm
bottled
sorry.
water. Crystal
I'm
water
sorry,
is the
man.
best.
I can't see stuff like that. Bottled water. I see tiny dogs and baby carrots. Like what we doing out here, folks?
I
These
wanted.
pets we's talking about.
I wanted a dog I could
These
put in the
are
crib.
animals. They're supposed to be on the ground.
Listen,
What are you talking about?
listen. You, as you know, us melanated people, we talk to our dog like they're humans. Okay, and
No, it's not just melanated people. It's everybody. This is. I feel like it's been a craze in the last
no, but
few
I think
decades.
no, I think I'm gonna be honest. For those who get offended, might be you, but non-melanated people take it a little step too far. Like they
Everybody,
take it a step too far.
everybody,
Like they'll feed their dog off plates that they eat off of. They
everybody.
will they will let the dog kiss them in the mouth. That is too much. We won't do that.
Nah. You ain't been on YouTube too much, Dolores.
I listen. The craziest thing I've ever done with my dog, other than give them the bottle of water, is that I had to go out in the street. We had a dog recently. If y'all was on work with us, y'all heard me complain about this dog. Because come to find out, all the house was allergic to it. And once my brother's girlfriend got pregnant, the dog turned against her, and that was his last hope. So literally, he would bolt out the door when he was young, and I would be like, "Hey, come back," and he would come back. And the moment I felt like I was being a black mom is when he took off running up the street, and I had to get my wheelchair down to the street, stand up, and go, "If you don't bring your back here, I'm gonna come up there." And he runs back and looks at me like, "I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have ran up the street." That was
Um,
the moment I felt like I'm in my gown in the street screaming at a dog. Yeah, it's time. It's time for him to go.
Command is something different. Like Fran can tell you, I love dogs, man. I do. It's just I just feel like certain people take it too far. So there you go. There we have it.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, that's ROH. Listen, you learn if you ain't learned nothing today, learn. Don't go too far, okay? Now we're on AEW Collision. Ooh, let's go to the first night. The first night is Sunday. You remember Sunday? We told you there was a show coming on later on that night. Well, this is the results of that. It was Collision 85 Slam Dunk Sunday on the 23rd. That was my brother's birthday. Happy birthday. AEW World Trios title match. Death Riders Claudio Castagnoli, Pac, and Willa Yuta defeated AR Fox and Top Flight with Darius and Dante Martin. Bandito defeated Johnny TV. Harley Cameron defeated Amina Belmont. Is that how I pronounce it right? Amina. Los Titan. How you pronounce that?
No, oh no, I'm sorry. Los Titanes del Aire. Basically, the Titans of the air.
Yes.
Mhm.
Hologram Commander and Harley Graham. Well, Harley
Harley
Graham was in
Graham.
that part.
Yes, Harley Graham. Yes, absolutely.
Defeated Los Facción Ingranable of the Jalistico and the Beast Mortos. Did you watch this last Sunday, and what did you think, J News?
I did watch this last Sunday. I thought that this was a very solid showing for them to do a 1 hour show after the NCAA tournament and things of that nature. Harley Cameron had a strong showing. Bandito had a strong showing versus Johnny TV. They're still continuing that storyline between Bandito and Chris Jericho. Harley Cameron, she's been on TV since her match with Tony Storm, but they've been keeping her doing more of the entertaining comedy stuff, which is fine at the end of the day. That's the role she's playing for right now. She keeps on being as the Harley Graham character. She keeps on being a distraction to the Beast Mortos. And I think that the trios match was a fun match, well put together. Always good to see the good brother uh, Fox get in the ring. There, I think he pulled a double that night because he had his match versus Will Ospreay earlier, and I think they filmed and recorded that episode of uh, of Collision the same night that they filmed Dynamite Live. So Fox was there with Top Flight. Good match altogether with the Death Riders and things of that nature. As they continue on with what's going on there, Top Flight still has their mini feud on the side going on with the members of Crew, aka Leo Rush and Action Andretti. So yeah, that's how it all boils down.
I think I enjoyed this more than I did the Saturday one. I don't know why, but I enjoyed this a little bit more. Ladies and gentlemen, we're on to the next collision, which was last night. Go. There we go. Last night on TNT, it was Collision 86. Jay White defeated Kevin Knight. In a non title match, Mercedes Monet defeated Robin Renegade. The Learning Tree, Big Bill and Brian Keith defeated Top Flight of Dante and Darius Martin. Rilla Yuta defeated Dex Hardwood. And Hologram defeated Blake Christian. And Jamie Hayter defeated Billy Starks. Did you see this last night and what did you think?
I did see this last night. Another strong 2 hour show of Collision. I thought that the match between Jay White and Kevin Knight was tremendous. It really showed off Kevin Knight's skills and his athleticism and things of that nature. Just to tell y'all a week in advance, I plan on making Kevin Knight my spotlight of the week next week. He is, for all intents and purposes, all elite. So congratulations to Kevin Knight for signing that deal with AEW. Kevin Knight, been watching Kevin Knight for the last 3 to 4 years. It's been when he decided to make the decision to sign himself up to the LA Dojo. He was trained by the likes of Shibata, and also he was trained by Nick Wayne's dad, Buddy Wayne, before his passing. So they billed Kevin Knight from Atlanta, Georgia, last night for some reason during commentary, but
Yeah,
Kevin Knight is from
they've been doing it.
yeah, but he is from the Pacific Northwest, from what I understand. So, shouts to
I've
Kevin
seen
Knight.
this. I haven't seen. I know on some of the indies they build him from Atlanta, Georgia too.
Mhm. So I'm not too sure, but it is what it is. There, strong showing by Jay White. Jay White officially declaring himself um, for the Owen Hart Cup. So we'll see Jay White in the Owen this year. Jay White looking good and crisp as he usually does in the ring. So that was dope. The women's match between Mercedes and Robin Renegade probably got about 5 to 6 minutes match wise, and then the rest of the length of the segment after Mercedes beat Robin Renegade was to continue the build between Mercedes Moné and finally the returning Athena, the forever ROH Women's Champion, finally came out to have some words with Mercedes Moné and actually hit her with one of the stiffest forearm shots I've seen and heard in a
She tried
long
to knock her
time.
lights into the third row.
Exactly.
I was
Uh,
like, she's like, I owe you a receipt, and here you go. And I was like,
so
whoa.
there
But yeah,
was
It says Kevin Knight's from Atlanta, Georgia.
okay, all right, so fair enough. And Robert Renegade was given some flowers by Mercedes Moné. Mercedes Moné trying to put Robin Renegade over, telling the crowd after she beat Robin Renegade how much heart Robin Renegade had, and how
After
much
she
more
beat her so
right,
handedly and then she's like, you got heart. I was like,
heart.
girl, you just stumped that girl up.
So it seems, and then when Athena came into the ring and she knocked out Mercedes Moné, and she was about to go to the top rope to give Mercedes the O face. Robin Renegade came to the aid of Mercedes Moné, and Mercedes actually pushed Robin Renegade into the way of the O Face as she got out of the ring. So we'll probably see Robin Renegade and her sister. I forget what her sister's name is, but the Renegade twins.
Yeah.
Eventually, they will end up siding.
I
Uh,
forgot who those girls are, and I've been championing them for them to go to AEW. I'm not AEW um or WWE. This they're like Samoan twins. They be on
um,
Wow.
the Tonga twins.
Yes,
Yes,
I want them somewhere. They need to be somewhere
I
because they
thought that
talk.
they're not a part of LFG Dolores because I don't watch. So I'm just asking.
I haven't seen them.
Okay.
So, but I know they were training at the PC for a minute.
Mm,
They had a tryout, and so I was hoping they were gonna be a part of the Bloodline storyline, or like Tamina manages them or something like that. Because if you hear them even on Wow and some of their interviews just outside, they when I say they on Jacob 52 mouth too slick, they got it. It's like they get a promo and you be like, I'm offended that you just said that about me. Listen, I want them to come in because you've never seen women who have a mouth like that and can bring it in the ring at the same time. Like they hard hitting, and I would like to see them. They can fight separate, but together they're a powerhouse.
okay, that's talent to look out for. To bring about collision, the learning tree needed to win here. So because they did challenge the Hurt Syndicate to a match for those tag team championships, and MVP told the learning tree boys, "Y'all need to win before you can get a shot at these championships." So they got to win here against Dante Martin and Darius Martin, the boys from Top Flight. They on this episode of Collision as well, they were continuing the side feud. Top Flight was with members of the crew, Leo Rush and Ashton Andretti, but their new OG, aka the Sensei, AR Fox, came down for the save, so crew wasn't able to do anything to Top Flight. But then later on in the show, we saw the members of crew step to the members of the patriarchy and whatnot. We saw Leo Rush basically tell Nick Wayne, "Yo, check your man," because Nick Wayne and AR Fox go way back and things of that nature. But it ended up being that Nick Wayne told crew that he ain't got nothing to do with AR Fox, but they were really there just to stir the pot. And if the crew ever needed a third man, Nick Wayne could be that person to help out in this fight with the boys from Top Flight and AR Fox. So we're continuing to sow the seeds of the separation of Nick Wayne from the patriarchy and going out on his own. So there's that. That Wheeler Yuta versus Dax Harwood match was way more stiff than I had thought it was going to be. To be quite honest, um, there were just times there where I was like, is he really trying to, like, in terms of Hardwood and Dax? Is Dax really trying to tear Yuta's leg off? Like, it looked so real. It felt so real for that particular match. The chops were super heavy. Wheeler Yuta getting by the way that he did. Um, when he won the match and he left the ring and Claudio was standing in the crowd, he basically went into, like he usually does, as the members of the Death Riders do, go into the crowd as they usually do. He went in for a hug on Claudio, and Claudio basically just tapped him on the shoulder. And I was like, "Y'all ain't proud of me, man. I just want a match." It's like, keep on being treated like a redheaded stepchild, man. I feel for you, Wheeler. I feel for you.
I don't
Hologram
care for you.
Hologram versus Blake Christian was a tremendous lucha bout. They got Hologram and Blake Christian got more time than Blake Christian got with Kenny Omega, and this was a better match, man. So, and then I believe they let Blake Christian and Lee Johnson cut a promo in the back post collision, to see if those young boys have any talent on the mic. And Vanilla Baby, man, I gotta say, he impressed me. He impressed me on the mic, man. So shouts to Blake Christian there. And then the ladies yet again closed out the show, the main event. Big Billy Starks. She lost to Jamie Hayter, the returning Jamie Hayter. She was having visa issues. No more visa issues for Jamie Hayter. Um, She killed Billy Starks with that off the second rope haterade. Strong match for both ladies. Great main event. And Jamie Hayter also um, putting her hat in the ring of ladies for the Owen Cup. So we will see Jamie Hayter also compete in the Owen, along with Billy Starks as well, and Athena, and Mercedes, and Thunder, and Chris Statlander. So we still have two more lady participants to go in to round out the Owen. So yeah, there was all that going there.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was Collision from yesterday. Now we're on to TNA, Total Nonstop Action. Oh, just like that, I want to skip over it. Non-title tag team match: Ash by Elegance and Heather by Elegance defeated Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley. We had Chavo Guerrero Jr. and the Aztec Warriors, Laredo and Octagon Jr. defeat First Class of AJ Francis and Casey Navarro, along with Frankie Kazarian. I want to say thank you. I might not like you, Chavo, as a person sometimes, but you did the Lord's work in defeating AJ Francis. Masha Slamovich defeated JC Jane. Eric Young defeated Ace Austin. We had Nick Nemeth defeat Leon Slater. Did you see any of this, J News?
I didn't, but since you decided to mention AJ Francis, I will say something that I think needs to be put out on the table here. During the week, I saw something that I didn't necessarily like, right? And I'll say this blanketly. For those folks who are into um, these tell all interviews that have been going on for years, right? For a specific example, if you've ever watched an episode of Vlad TV on YouTube, there was an instance this week where I saw Swerve Strickland had an interview on Vlad TV.
Mm-hmm.
What does this have to do with AJ Francis? There was a part of the interview where Swerve Strickland was talking about what had transpired with him and his crew, which AJ Francis was a part of, Hit Row at WWE, and what transpired and what led to Hit Row being released at, in the WWE. Swerve talked about it candidly. I felt like Swerve didn't blame anybody. Swerve just said, "Hey, I was told this. I was told this. This is what was said to me. So then this happened." This is why I don't think the internet is a real place. And or I feel like people decide to hear what they want to hear. Active listening is a real thing. Comprehension is a real thing.
You asking people to have common sense because it's not
No, no, no,
common
no, no,
sense.
no, 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 no. Don't misconstrue my words here, Dolores. I said comprehension and I said active listening, not common sense. I said active listening and comprehension. See, when a man tells you, or a person, not a man, when a person tells you, hey, somebody done told me this done happened and this led to this, right? I'm not saying I said it. I'm not saying I felt a certain way about it. No, no. I said, hey, this is what I was told. This is how it went down. This is how it unfolded, or whatever the case is. That's what happened. I bring up AJ Francis because it seems like AJ Francis took the ball and ran with it the same way. And I'm going to use the internet terms that some of these fad drones took it. And they mixed up and they mashed up Swerve's words, talking about how he blamed AJ Francis for them getting fired the first time around. He didn't blame anybody.
He didn't blame anybody, but if everybody flashbacks with a stick, uh, we had already been told that, and we already had assumed that AJ was the cause of some of the stuff that happened. We already as wrestling fans and people who watch journalists talk about wrestling had deduced that. We just heard Swerve say, "Well, this is what I was told
Right.
behind the scenes."
Exactly.
When I say it's common sense would say you listen and you don't judge. But some people, as my mama has told me, because that's a frustration of mine, if you ain't got no common sense. I just picked mine up a few years ago. I lost it sometime in the middle of my life in my 20s, and then I picked it back up. But common sense would tell you to listen and to hear this man say, I know what y'all heard. It's similar to what I heard, but I heard it. I'm not for sure if it's true.
Yeah, man. Like
He was just validating. I
AJ
heard
Francis pulling
this.
out.
I heard the same things y'all heard when the president, but I heard it behind the scenes.
Yeah,
So
AJ Francis went
it
out.
just made people. It's a. It's kind of like he validated it a little bit by saying, you know,
Yeah, but
I
he
know
didn't
what y'all
blame
heard,
AJ.
but what I
Swerve didn't
heard,
blame AJ,
yeah,
right? But AJ Francis went on some other dude's podcast, and now he beefing with Swerve for no reason.
he beefing because he Holy Spirit 10 is gonna call the Holy Spirit for me. But what I want to say is that man is a trash wrestler and he just bad and he trying to get any and everybody. That's like a rapper who beef with bigger people
Yeah, yeah.
to try to get some limelight. That's what he's trying to do. And
First of
he
all,
what he doesn't realize is that he's making enemies.
I want to make a point though about something that Swerve said during his interview, right? That shone a light, that shone a positive light on AJ Francis. Supposedly, AJ Francis was deemed to be very aggressive with whoever was in admin in WWE, right? But he was being aggressive for a very good reason. No one knew what they had to do for a specific night, and he wanted to know, hey man, why was B-Fab's flight not booked? Like, what's going on? Or whatever the case is. Y'all got to tell us what's going on. Communicate with us what's going on. And then eventually, days later, supposedly, is when they found out that they got released. And he was just trying to try to go to bat for his homegirl who's part of his clique, trying to find out what's going on so everybody can be on the same page, right? Is it his business? Was it his business to do that? No, I get all that. But it doesn't necessarily mean his heart wasn't in the right place.
His heart was in the right place. His heart was in the right place. It just shouldn't have been in there. Sometimes you got to take your heart. If you know this is the type of company you dealing with, bucking the system is not going to work. And especially that was during Vince time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. But
Yeah.
at
So,
the,
but you definitely know. Now, he fired a man on his wedding day. He fired a man. He who came back through the ropes. He gave him his regular his firing letter. He don't care. And you butt the system with somebody you know don't care, that you just another chink in the armor that he can get rid of you and replace you with somebody else who, no offense, can probably wrestle better.
I'm not going to discount what you just said because you're right, Delores. But people got to go through their own episodes, trials, and tribulations in order to have that proof, that fact of life
He was
happen to
doing
them.
interviews. I think he did an interview with TMZ and some other things where he explained that I saved this money. I'm a good rapper. I've saved my money over the years. I don't need this. I just want. So,
Mhm.
okay, I'm going to bring it back social wise to Just and the Breakfast Club. If you get online and you say to me, well, she was angry. Just said, I don't need this. I go on these comedy tours. I don't have to have this. In my brain, as your employer, if I see you say that so many times, I'm gonna say, you don't need me, and I really don't need you. So you can get to stepping. You and your crew. Because it looked like you and your crew feel the same way. So get on. And that's messed up because he can do his promo skills have gotten worse in MLW and stuff. I've seen him and he out of breath, he gasping for air, he tired, he can't get his words, he's stuttering. Even when he trying to rap, it ain't working out no more. At this point in time, it's like people are keeping you around, but you're damaging your own reputation. And especially when Swerve has been known as a good company guy who has done anything but been nice to people. And he has his hiccups outside of the ring. Okay, because if anybody knows Swerve, he ain't always down for the people. Okay, but on TV, he is a nice. Even backstage, some people say he's nice, he's kind. They have stories when he go on these podcasts and different things where he's been very generous to people. You jump out the gym with him, it's damaging your reputation. And so, as right now, you're not a good promo, you're not a good wrestler, and you damaging your backstage reputation with people. How you think people gonna keep you? Because as you see, every week I talk about him on TNA. Either he wins and he look like a fool, he loses and looks like a fool, or he in MLW just straight looking like a fool. That's they jobbing you at this point, and you going forward. So at this point, he all he has to do is just grasp. You know, like when they talk about in the Bible, just touch the hem of somebody who is more popular and better, just to get a reaction or give me some type of healing in my pocket.
Yeah, and I agree with what you just said, Dolores. And for all intents and purposes, I also want to put my point of view on this. Swerve Strickland's a very smart dude, a very smart dude. I felt when I saw the my first emotional reaction to just seeing the thumbnail of him on Vlad TV was disgust, right? Because I don't like I don't I've never liked Vlad TV. I don't like what it stands for, who he stands for, and he's a culture vulture at the end of the day. Is Vlad TV, but I also understand how smart Swerve Strickland is. So I felt that he used Vlad TV as a vehicle for the culture. As a vehicle for the culture.
Listen,
Um,
I can tell you,
he used it as a vehicle to continue one to promote himself, promote the company, and share stories that that are that are of note and that have already been out there about things that have happened and occurred either to him and or around him and things of that nature. Um,
he doesn't, let's say it like this. Rap culture, he is very into.
mhm,
If you ever watch Swerve's
yeah.
House, his podcast. Behind the scenes, Swerve has not been outside of the ring very friendly to those melanated, especially melanated women.
I mean, that's a preference thing, though.
Past the preference, he's very much a red hat wearer. Okay.
I was not.
Yeah, so that's what made me kind of detached. You know, I can swerve when I drive and dance and have a good time when his music come on, but outside the ring, I don't care for the man. Inside the ring, he does great work, and that's what I judge for.
Right, 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 right.
Uh, if for anybody who asks, well, you don't like that red and yellow man. Well, the red and yellow man is a trash in the ring and trash outside of the ring. And then he had his own thing this week where his daughter denounced her mama and her daddy, and her mama
Yeah.
was up there crying, looking like she had been through Mike Tyson 10 knockouts. I don't know what happened, but I know that he's a trash human being. And even when your own daughter says you're a trash human being, what can you do? What can you do? So I know this man is a trash human being. Swerve is like, I'm gonna keep it real calm. I'm gonna keep it. Cody is the same way. Cody keeps it real calm. He had that little other account he had, but he was very much supporting the Cheeto Man and all of that. Cool, great. But then Cody realized that he needed us. Okay, and so he's been very much trying to get into the cookout ever since then. Okay. He deleted that account. He him and his wife been getting together. He been out here on this grand Martin Luther King tour he be having, looking like a pastor every time he come out of the ring. He been doing this. I don't judge the man. I just know when he went on Vlad, my initial thoughts were, I should have expected it. You I should have expected it.
No, like I said, the reason as to why I even mentioned it was because I consider Swerve to be a smart dude. I just feel like he used the whole Vlad TV as a vehicle for promotional purposes and to stir the pot, as they say. Kayfabe, kayfabe. Yeah, because I don't pay too much attention as to what most wrestlers do outside of the ring. To be quite honest.
I do because some of them are very take for instance, uh Caden and Damian Priest
Mhm.
have been doing these skits great. And at a certain point these skits begin to look like, oh, y'all together. Oh, okay. Great. And then they went out with a group of wrestlers. I don't know if you saw the clips where they were out in the club partying, and he was like standing next to her, like real close. And then even one lady caught, like the crowd is down here, Kaden is up here. Like he's like, and she was like, "Thank you." And I was looking at them like, "Okay, so why are we pretending like we don't know what we already see? But that's just y'all do y'all."
Yeah,
But
let people do whatever they
but
want
it's
outside the ring.
cute when you see them outside of the ring be a whole different person
Mm.
than they are inside of the ring.
Listen, man. At the end of the day, we need to remember and understand we're watching wrestling. Wrestling is a show. It's a form of entertainment. These people are playing characters at the end of the day.
And some
So
people, their characters are their whole life. We've seen documents on Macho Man and the Red and Yellow Man and other people who their life consumed them. That's who they are.
right, but
And so,
some people know how to separate it. So you know
yeah,
that is that as well. So, but yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, we're going on to the next show. Got my little country accent on. And the next show is GCW. It's Game Changer Wrestling time, ladies and gentlemen. And guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna do no compadre. Listen, I wanted to get my J News on, and then my throat was like, not gonna do that. Ladies and gentlemen, it took place. Guess what? It took place last night on the 29th on Triller TV. Jack Cartwheel defeated Dante Leon. Dark Sheet defeated Brooke Havoc. Isaiah Bronner defeated Sam Holloway. We had a GCW Tag Team Title four-way match where the violence is forever. Dominic Gennari and Kevin Koo defeated the old champions of Garbage Daddies, Alex Price, Cole Radrick. They also beat Bang Matthews, August Matthews, and Davy Bang. And Hot Commodity, Hayden Blackwood and Trevor Outlaw. Zeta Steel defeated Dan the Dad. Listen, if you've never wanted a good laugh and watch a grown man with a cup of coffee, quote unquote, a cup of coffee, some khaki shorts, some suspenders, and a dress shirt, wrestle, that he's my dude. Gringo Loco defeated Jimmy Lloyd. We had a four-way match where Dr. Redacted defeated John Wayne Murdoch, Matthew Justice, and Tommy Vendetta. GCW World Title match, Effie versus Microman. I'm sorry. Even just during the match, I laughed. Johnny had to get help to get in the ring. Listen, he is about. I'm gonna give him about 3. I want to say 2 by 2. He's just tiny. It's tiny man. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at him being small. I'm laughing at the fact that he wrestles and people have to sell. Effie had to sell for this. The world champion of GCW had to sell to Microman. Excuse me. But go back and watch it. And then we had a GCW Ultraviolet title match. Matt Tremont defeated Otis Cougar. Now, J News, I know you didn't see none of that, so we're going to keep it moving. We're on to New Japan Pro Wrestling. I know what y'all came to see. Y'all came to see J News. And here he go.
yeah, we're going Road to Sakura Genesis. I think this happened this morning. Or we're doing this happened this morning. Tag matches galore. We had
It was
Hiroshi
yesterday morning. That was yesterday morning.
yesterday morning. Oh, yesterday morning. Yeah, okay. Hiroshi Tenzan, Katsuyori Murashima, Ninja Mac, and Toru Yano defeated Daiki Nagai, Tiger Mastoga, Makabe, and Tomoaki Hanma. We had Hiroshi Tanahashi and Oleg Bolton defeat Just Four Guys members Takumi Shinoku and Yui Uemura. House of Torture members Ren Narita and Yujiro Takahashi won up against Bullet Club War Dog members Drilla Maloney and Gabe Kidd. That was a match that ended in a DQ. The War Dogs are having that Bullet Club civil war with the House of Torture, quote unquote. War Dog members Robbie X and Sonata, along with Taiji Ishimori, defeated TMDK members Hartley Jackson, Kosei Fujita, and Robbie Eagles. We had Los Ingobernables de Japón, Bushi, Hiromu Takahashi, and Tetsuya Naito defeat United Empire members Callum Newman, Francisco Akira, and Jacob Austin Young. Los Ingobernables de Japón, Shingo Takagi, and Yota Tsuji defeated House of Torture members Dick Togo and Evil. Bishiman, Hiroki Goto, and Yoshihashi, along with Del Desperado, defeated Bullet Club War Dog members Clark Connors, David Finley, and Gato. Hiroshi Tenzan, Katsuya Murashima. No, this is all repeat. So yeah, the last match of the night was that tag match. We're doing a GCW preview here. I think Dolores might be muted. So,
Yeah, yes, I am. I wanted to say that we're gonna do a preview of. We'll do that preview in a minute. GCW is America's Most Wanted. Okay, bad boys, what you gonna do? Listen, that's where the wife beater came out at. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Megan Bain versus Zeta Steel for the ultraviolet title match. Matt Tremont versus the Bev. We have a death match: Sam Stackhouse versus Otis Cougar. Gary J versus Mance Warner. Too Tough Tony and Mickey Knuckles versus the rejects of John Wayne Murdoch and Reed Bentley. Listen, I like to say his name like that. He looks very country. JCW heavyweight title: Willie Mack, the champion, versus Caleb Conley. JCW title match: Masha Slamovich versus Blake Christian. GCW World Heavyweight title match: we have Effie versus Dr. Redacted. Ladies and gentlemen, New Japan, Sakura Genesis.
yeah, we this is
This is for the second, not the second. This is for the for what's happening today, ladies and gentlemen, on
okay.
the 30th.
So this happened this morning. All right, so we had another multi-man matches as per the usual. Hiroshi Tanahashi, Ketsuya Murashima, Ninja Mack, and Oleg Bolton are going up against Daiki Nagai, Tiger Mask, Togi Makabe, and Togi Makihama. Hiroshi Tenzan and Toriano go up against House of Torture members Ren Narita and Yujiro Takahashi. Taka Michinoku and Yu Uemura of Just Four Guys go up against Bullet Club War Dog members Drilla Maloney and Sonata. TMDK members Hartley Jackson, Kosei Fujita, and Robbie Eagles go up against Bullet Club War Dog members Gabe Kid, Robbie X, and Taiji Ishimori. Los Ingo members of Hebon, Bushi, Hiromu Takahashi, and Tetsuya Naito will be going off against United Empire members Callum Newman, Francisco Akira, and Jacob Austin Young, the JAY. Los Ingo members of Hebon, Shingo Takagi, and Yoda Tsuji will go up against House of Torture members Dick Togo and Evil, and then Bishiman of Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi, along with El Desperado, will be facing off against Bullet Club War Dog members Clark Connors, David Finley, and Gato. On to the second. There's nothing listed as of right now, but you'll be sure to tell yourselves that there will be a bunch of tag matches there. On the 4th, we have the junior night of Sakura Genesis. DDT's own Mao and Yuya Koroku go up against Katsuya Murashima and Ninja Mack. Ryusuke Taguchi is going to go one-on-one against Hiroshi Tanahashi. Also go bananas happen. Bushi, Hiromu Takahashi, and Tetsuya Naito will go up against United Empire members Callum Newman, Jacob Austin Young, and Jeff Cobb. Also go bananas happen. Shingo Takagi and Yota Tsuji will go up against House of Torture members Dick Togo and Evil. We have Bishiman members Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi, along with Master Wato and Yo. Going up against Bullet Club War Dog members David Finley, Drilla Maloney, Gabe Kidd, and Gato. For the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship title match, we have the champions, the Ichiban Sweet Boys, Kosei Fujita and Robbie Eagles. They will go up against Bullet Club War Dog members Robbie X and Taiji Ishimori. And then for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title match, it's going to be a hardcore match. It'll be the champion El Desperado going one-on-one against Bullet Club War Dog members, Bullet Club War Dog member 100 Proof, Clark Connors.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're on to MLW. If I remember right, MLW is now located on YouTube, so you can watch it with me on YouTube. MLW Battle Riot, ladies and gentlemen, it will be on the 5th on YouTube. We have Janai Kai versus, this is J.News word, Himawari.
Himawari, yeah. I think that's, yeah.
Atlantis Jr. and Star Jr. versus Barbara.
Cavernario.
Yes, Magnus and Ultimo Guerrero.
Mm-hmm.
MLW World Tag Team Title match: Cozy Max, Akamura, and Kojima versus the Intergalactic Jet Setters of Kevin Knight and Kushida. MLW Women's World Featherweight Title match: Dalmi Exo versus
Shoko Nakajima.
Yes, I knew the last word. First one, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna pronounce it right. MLW World Middleweight Title: Mystico versus Tempario, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah, learn from J News something. And then we got an MLW World Heavyweight Title 40-man Battle Riot match. Some of the people are listed are Matt Riddle, Atlantis, Kojima, Paul London, Blue Panther, Ultimo Guerrero, Bobby Fish, Okamura, Virus, Matthew Justice, Kushida, Hechicero.
Esfinge.
It's feet. Okay.
Mhm,
Carbonaro,
mhm.
Bishop Dryer, Anthony Green, Star Jr., Donovan Dijak, Tom Lawler, Brett Ryan Gosselin, Aledis Jr., Alex Kane, Brock Anderson, Juicy Finau,
Hikaru
Ikuro,
One. Mhm.
Paul Walter Hauser are the people that are listed so far for this show.
Just for the sake of information, go back one time for me,
Okay,
Dolores.
okay.
Star Junior. Recently, I believe it was Star Junior lost his mask in a in a match versus Zandokan Jr. over on CMLL. So he is a Mexican wrestler who no longer wrestles under his mask. Uh, and that was quite the battle. So I wanted to point that out there for folks who end up watching any MLW shows and are wondering as to why this particular Mexican wrestler is wrestling without a mask. And they saw him with a mask before. Star Junior lost his mask in a mask versus mask match, I believe a week ago now, versus Zandokan Jr. In CMLL, one of the better matches of 2025 for CMLL to add. So yeah, I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, no problem. Listen, I keep up with MLW pay per views, but they're like shows on every other week or so that it comes on YouTube. I just catch the clips. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, we have Wrestling Revolver. We did that, okay? I said it every time me and J.News get off the line and it says in stream. I said, we did that, okay? Because can't nobody do it like us. I started singing that song, Bet You Can't Do It Like Me. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, on that day is on the 5th. Again, they J.News, tell them stop putting all these shows on one day for me to watch, okay? Uh, we have Ace Austin versus Marcus Mathers, Havoc versus Rachel Armstrong. In a 10-man tag team elimination match, we have Jake Chris, Rich Swan, Steve Macklin, and the Rascals of Trey and Miguel and Zachary Wentz versus Bang and Matthews, August Matthews, David Bang, Gringo Loco, Joe Alonzo. Sorry, I would start calling him something else, and Mustafa Ali. For the PWR Tag Team Title 4-Way match, we have the Macabre, which is Dreadnought and Crew, versus Latinos Most Wanted, Coda Hernandez and Sabian Gage, versus Tie or Die, KJ Reynolds and Ryan Mathis, versus Alpha Sigma Sigma, which if you take the first words of that, you know what they are, and that's probably what's gonna happen in this match. They're gonna be um Britt Oakley and Casey Jacobs. For the PWR Remix title match, we have Crash Jackson versus Calvin Tateman. I cannot wait for this match. We're going two men, bow, trying to knock each other out. Revolver tag title match, Myron Reed versus BDE. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going on to New Japan Pro Wrestling.
This is going to be Sakura Genesis on the 5th, the main of the main events happening on that night. We have the kickoff match, which has the Young Lions, Katsuyori Murashima, and Daiki Nagai going one-on-one. We will then have Sonata go up against Yuya Uemura in a special singles match. NJPW World Television title match is going to be El Phantasmo versus the Great Okan. Hiroshi Tanahashi is going to go one-on-one against Shota Umino. Be on the lookout for that particular match between Hiroshi Tanahashi and Shota Umino. I have a feeling that the ending of that match is going to be either very impactful or surprising. For the never open weight 6-man tag team title match, we're going to have the champions, the House of Torture members, Ren Narita Show and Yujiro Takahashi go up against Bullet Club War Dog members, Drilla Manoni, Gabe Kidd, and Taiji Ishimori. For the never open weight title, it's going to be the champion Konosuke Takeshita going one-on-one against Ryohei Oiwa. The IWGP Tag Team Championship match. The champions, Los Ingobernables de Japón, Hiromu Takahashi and Tetsuya Naito, will be going up against United Empire members Callum Newman and Jeff Cobb. For the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship, it's going to be Yota Tsuji versus Evil. And then for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, we're going to have the champion, Hiroki Goto, go one-on-one against the New Japan Cup winner, David Finlay, the boss dog of the War Dogs.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of our show. But you know we're not finished because, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a spotlight. And this time, a good brother J News will give you the spotlight of the week.
I am doing the spotlight of the week on a trailblazing women's wrestler of the 2000s, the mid aughts, the one and only Gail Kim. Reason as to why I'm doing this particular spotlight this week, there was news that came down during the week where a lot of different people in positions of power were released and or fired from their jobs in TNA. Gail Kim being one of those people who was released from her contract and is no longer working for TNA Wrestling. I just wanted to spotlight Gail Kim because she's always been a tremendous talent. She was ahead of her time when she was wrestling in the ring. A lot of her career took place in TNA, even though she did have a short stint on WWE TV, uh, and it was not one of the highlights of her career, to say the least, and she would tell you that. But the majority of Gail Kim's career is legendary. What she was able to do in TNA with that TNA Knockouts division while she was in it, and also while she's been the head of creative and the booker for the ladies at TNA, and also helping train some of the ladies' talent there. I just wanted to shine a light and spotlight Gail Kim for all the tremendous work that she's done in the wrestling business, and specifically for TNA and the ladies in TNA, and giving them the platform that they've always had. TNA, if there's anything anybody's ever really respected about TNA Impact Wrestling, is their women's division, is that Knockouts division, and a lot of that work. Not that she did it by herself, but a lot of that work she was a part of, and she deserves all the flowers in the world for the work that she did and leading the way for the ladies at TNA. So I just wanted to give a shout out and a spotlight to the one and only Gail Kim, as she is now no longer with TNA Wrestling. I hope that she gets an opportunity to lead in a bigger role at another wrestling organization, either it be the WWE, because I know they need help with their mainline women's storylines on main roster TV, and or AEW. Either way it goes, Gail Kim is heavily respected. She's very talented, and she is a wealth of knowledge in the wrestling business. So I just wanted to spotlight Gail Kim and show her flowers for all the work that she's put in and the careers she's helped to mold and touch throughout her many years in the wrestling business.
Yes, yes, I love Gail Kill. And for those, because I always try to drop information, if you might know her, you might have seen her on your TV screens with her husband, Robert Irvine, who cooks on the Food Network. That's how some people who don't, because I get a lot of people in my chats who are learning wrestling, who might have seen some people, don't know why they saw them. That could be it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, back to the studio. Here we are. Here we are. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It's time for J News to arrive, and I have a good one for you today, J News. So, as we all know, the popular segment of us here at the Workhorse Wrestling Network is for me to ask Chat GPT to give me either a hood, a ghetto, or a different type of way to tell J News that he is the bomb.com. And if you don't know, you might as well go check him out. Okay, here it is, J News, down at the bottom of your ticker. J News, man, that dude straight fire. He breaking down movies like a pro calling wrestling. It's WrestleMania every night and pushing folks in the gym like a real life Rocky trainer. But more than all that, he solid, real solid, one of the best out there for real. And you know what? He's a good man, Savannah, a good man.
Man, I don't understand how every week it comes up with something different, but uh, AI has its pros and its cons, and I would want to say that it coming up with all these different uh, things to say about me is yeah, I guess I could appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? For all intents and purposes, as you guys see, there's a QR code next to my head here. John L., your friendly neighborhood moviegoer, is I. So I have new write ups on Letterboxd this week. Check out the reviews I have there for A Working Man and Black Bag. This week is action packed for me. I will be at the movie theater all week. Why is that, ladies and gentlemen? Because this Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, is this Thursday is April 3rd. What is April 3rd? April 3rd will be the day of the week that lands on my 41st birthday. That's right. Your good brother J.News ain't that old, but he's old. So my
Ladies
birthday's
and
on the
gentlemen, it's
30th.
haircut time for J News. If y'all ain't never seen
So
the young J News, y'all gonna catch him on next Sunday.
probably not. I haven't booked an appointment as of yet.
What?
So yeah,
I need your alter ego to appear, okay,
yeah,
J News?
probably the week after, but not this week though. But yeah, there's that. So check out the reviews over on the Letterbox account. The QR code leads you to my link tree. My link tree has my Letterbox account there. You can also catch me on the True Heel Heat podcast, which is a matter of fact, I will be recording an episode with the one and only SP3 in about half an hour, previewing the New Japan Cup. So check me out on True Heel Heat this week. Also every Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, here with the lovely Delores on the True on the my God, my breath. Anyways, hit the roast podcast as y'all are watching live and things of that nature. Check me out on the socials, the Twitter machine, John LYFNMG. Same thing with Instagram and things of that nature. Y'all can catch me there as well. So appreciate y'all for watching and tuning in and chiming in the chat as you usually do. And yeah, there is that.
Yes, yes, yes. We all appreciate a J News, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, it's a good man, Savannah. It's a good man. Make sure you go check that good man out. If you need some exercise, guidance, J News got you there. Listen, I'm telling you, he be giving me tips on the low, and I'd be like, I appreciate him. I appreciate him. Ladies and gentlemen, I feel like J News shouldn't be left out every week. And I normally don't do this, but I got a little clip I'm gonna show when I try to explain something. But I want to say my word for the week today is the sooner you accept that I'm that B, the better your life will be. That'll be that comes from Megan Thee Stallion. That's my quote for myself this week. Okay, the sooner y'all accept it that you need me in your life, the better your life gonna be. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to go and promote myself. Ladies and gentlemen, uh, that's my QR code. I am Dolores. Um, just a pink girl in her pink world here on every social media now. If you did not know, I do a little bit of everything. The channel is stopped right now. Your girl has been sick. I've had some procedures. I've done some things. Okay, but if you want me to come and help you grow, do logos and merch and different things, I am that person for you. Okay. Like I said, this is the collective. We are currently, I am currently working with World Wrestling Network to come up with some times where we can fit all of this, and this is not including the three events that happen from WWE, to figure out a schedule of what we will do and what we won't do. Because your girl, last year I did all of that by myself. This year, can't catch me. Not gonna do it again. I ain't got the energy or the strength. As you all know, like I said, come check me out, Dolores Designs. This is how you can reach me. Now, this is where I say this, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, my booking site is on there. As you all know, I got times now. Because with a lot of medical stuff and other stuff, I've just been like, where I used to be available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, I am not. Also, I got other things to do. And I'm going to let Tiana tell you why I don't need you hitting me up all
I
times
am
of day and night.
begging y'all to let me get my back blown out in peace. All right, bye.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Tiana told y'all right. Okay, Tiana told y'all right. I don't need y'all blowing me up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I love that you all like my help, but I need to help myself at this point. And because I'm sick and I've got other things, as Tiana explained it, that I want to do, I need y'all to do me a favor. Just stick it to normal business hours at this point. Um, Also, I'm trying to expand the Hit the Roast podcast. I am trying to expand Dolores to some private sectors. So yeah, listen, Ted. I see Ted be praying for me hard, but sometimes the inner me comes out, and J News can't help that. J News
No,
can't help
no, I cannot help that at all. Her thoughts, views, and the words that she say are all her. I've got nothing to do with any of that. Uh, you know, holding it down, holding
Listen,
it down.
J News be helping me out, okay? He be here. He be listen, when I be struggling, J News is that's that friend you need in your corner. You need J News, okay? Listen, because I'm a big believer, you ain't gonna have nothing till you do right by me, okay? Till you do right by me. Don't think I ain't been looking and seeing that some of y'all been out here overlooking a chick. Hey, look over me now, but you'll remember me later, okay? I got J News, I got 10, I got Ruby, I got ARD, I got Miss Shirley OG, I got Auntie Ellen, I got these people in my corner. That's great. But just remember, every time you stepped over me, as my grandma said, that's bad luck. You gotta step back over. Okay? You don't step over people. What 10 say? Listen, listen. Y'all know y'all got me. Y'all got me. I be out here windmilling. Windmilling for J News. Cause I know he a good man, Savannah. And I know I'm a good woman. Chad, I don't know who you call it. I don't know. Y'all ain't got to worry about that because I'm happy where I'm at. But J News is a good man, Savannah, okay? You better check out his channel, check out all his social medias. Make sure you go out there and check out 10, the educated. Now, listen, this woman right here, she'll give you a word. She'll help you with your business. She build websites. She do crafts. I don't think there's nothing she can't do. Ruby, she prays with you. She can cook. She can cook her butt off. Listen, I'm gonna start mailing her containers so she can just ship me food back. That's how well she cooks. Listen, ARD, he'll drop your word. Very smart, well traveled. Listen, he'll take you places you ain't never been. Auntie Ellen, she can do anything. And I mean anything. I ain't seen her not make something that I've been like, okay. Crafting, she is perfect at it. She is, I think, around 76 years old and can do any and everything still like she is 20. Miss Shirley OG, gardening, she got you. Garden on the inside, garden on the outside, she got you. And I appreciate everybody who comes in the chat like, did I pronounce her name Francis? See, I'm learning because I sure will butcher up her name. Francis and Leonica and who else was in here? Francis, Leonica, 10, obviously. To everybody who's coming here, I appreciate you all coming here every week. I appreciate you hanging out with me and J News. Because we broadcast on both channels. Show both channels some love. As you all see, I have people who drop in the chat. Links are dropping in the chat that I support and who support me and J News, who come by like Tori's Brain comes by. We have Juicing with Jay. All these people come by. They even sometimes they leave comments. Sometimes they come in and they sit in the bushes. I appreciate you, bush people. It's helping me. My goal by the end of the year is to hit 500 subscribers. Listen to me close for those who didn't understand and have misconstrued my words. I want to get to 500. I ain't say I want to get monetized. I said I want to get to 500. 500, okay? I'm not worried about no watch hours. I'm not worried about none of that. I ain't up here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week online. I don't care what you're doing. I care about what I'm doing. And what I'm doing is trying to put good content out there to help the people and have fun while doing it. That's all I'm trying to do. And so, with that being said, J.News, since we doing a lot and it's gotten a little hot in here, J.News, do you feel the heat? Because it's getting a little hot. It feels like it's about 90 around this piece. 110. It's getting hot. So,
It is.
J.News,
It is warmer nowadays.
I know. Listen, I don't do well with heat. I got a lot of body outie. Can't be out there in the heat. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, it's getting hot in here. Please, baby boy, baby girl, please keep your clothes on. I'm really not trying to see all that. Okay? So until then, we need to do something to cool this thing off. And I know exactly what I need to do, J.News. Cut the lights out. Okay? Already feeling cool. Listen, I feel cool. I feel appreciated. I feel loved because it is a lot of just great, cool air circulating in this studio. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, me and J.News want to say,